Welcome. Pretty sure it's working now. Been on live stream all morning, but then when I go on my personal page, it stops. Okay, cool. Sweet. Yeah, it's working. All right, I am here. So welcome. My name is Hannah. I am a intuitive healer for celebrities. I have numerous free resources. I love. Yeah, you can hear and see me now. Thank you. I love helping you. And this morning, this afternoon now, I specifically wanted to jump on and talk about that even though your organ has been medically removed, the energy of it is still there. Because it's something that happens all the time, obviously, you know, and as I've shared on my live stream last week, in my kitchen, I'm just going to share this as I'm talking and I'll be present properly again, that, you know, if you didn't watch my live stream from last week when I was in my kitchen, go and check that out, because everything has a purpose on the planet. Everything, you know, is there for a reason. So, you know, and if you get, you know, like some people get diagnosed with an illness and they're like, well, I'm just going to do it all the natural way and stuff. And that's fine. Like if that's what your intuition tells you to do, you need to trust yourself, you know, and that goes for everything in life. You know, but it's just the fact that, you know, if you need to get something removed, you know, like trust that the medical system's there for a reason to support you. And, you know, like if you need to get an organ removed and the doctor tells you and that's what you feel is really right for you, then you need to trust yourself and do that. And, you know, like that surgery could save your life, and then you can, you know, change your diet and stuff afterwards, right? Or even beforehand. There's no time like now. Anyway, the point of my story is that even though, you know, you get that organ removed, and I'm going to speak specifically to gallbladder, simply because it's what somebody asked me and I felt called to talk about this, simply because the gallbladder is what spurred me on to do my raw food cleanse in 2012, and it's what felt right for me. The doctor turned around and said, you know, you need to get your gallbladder out. And I was like, well, no, I'm going to heal that naturally. And that was really strong for me. And that's why I trusted that. But if, you know, something came up and I was like, actually, yeah, now I feel like I need to get that removed, or whatever the surgery is, and that's what felt right for me, well, I would still go down that medical path. And I shared last week on the live stream, I'm like, you know, if I had a car accident, I would want the ambulance to take me to hospital and make sure that I'm 100%, right? Do you know what I mean? Like, everything serves a purpose, and it depends what feels right for you, as to, you know, how and where you go. However, like I said, the gallbladder, you know, if you go down the path and get the gallbladder or whatever organ it is, you get that removed, the energy of that organ still is in your body, okay? Now, this is when the gallbladder is the intense energy number 5. Okay, I didn't know that. Thanks, Benita. Thanks. Yeah, so you've been having issues with the gallbladder. Okay, obviously need to talk about it. So I don't do free readings on my live stream unless I'm intuitively called to, and if I do, it will say it across the top of my, you know, heading there. If you wanted to book a psychic reading, you can do that with me, no worries. I'll just post the link in the comments in a second. So with that, you know, gallbladder, when, you know, when I was talking just before about, you know, if you need to do the medical thing, you do that, trust that. If it's just the, you know, natural healing you do and that feels right, we need to trust that. It's about trusting yourself over anything else. You know, but the thing is, you know, if, and I said this on my live stream last week, it's obviously a strong message that needs to come through right now. If you get the message for yourself that you need to do it naturally, right? You can have all the raw food, you can have all the supplements, you can have all the latest herbs or whatever which way you're doing it naturally, but if you're not working on the metaphysical reason of why that happened to that organ in the first place, you can take all the physical stuff you like, but that emotion is still sitting in the energy of where that was in your body. So like I said, if that gallbladder is removed, you know, then the energy of the reason that the gallbladder had the issues is still sitting there, the emotion's still sitting there. Now, this is like the second part to this, what I'm saying right now, is the fact that when you, so say, let's talk cancer. So say, you know, like obviously, like you get discovered that you got cancer or whatever, and the doctor says, right, we need to do this surgery, get it out, and we need to do chemo and stuff like that. Like, then, and that feels right to you, you need to trust that, right? Because that's really important. Because whilst I just said, you know, the energy of it's still there, so if you get it removed, the energy's still there, that is not important, like it doesn't matter. Well, it does, right? Because obviously cancer can be really aggressive and spread, so you want to get that out, right? You get that out, and then you deal with the energy, right? Or depending, like you start dealing with it as soon as you realize, right? And so you get the cancer, say, removed, and then you can deal with the energy and the reason why. Like, all cancer stems from resentment, and then whatever area of your body the cancer is in gives you more information about where that resentment, you know, filters through to, right? To help you heal it in that regard. So, like I said on the live stream last week, it's obviously really important, is that everything has a place and everything has a reason and rhyme for being there. You might need to do the medical, you might need to do the raw food or whatever diet changes you feel called to, but then you also need to look at the metaphysic. Is like the number one key thing that will shift the entire thing, right? As I was saying last week on the live stream, you don't need any physical thing to, you know, heal yourself. It's just that we have them here. We are living in a physical environment and they do help us, yeah? So I'm just going to speak specifically to the gallbladder as well. So I just put the psychic reading link in there if you really, really urgently need some guidance. It's there. Yeah, definitely. 5 is definitely about change. I've always known that for the number. Let's read these comments. Yes and no there, Catherine. I'm just reading the rest. Yeah, I didn't actually know that numbers are associated with that. Of course, that makes sense to me now. Yeah, curious about that. So the only thing I'm disagreeing with you there, Catherine, well, it's not disagreeing, it's a twofold is what I see it, with your first comment when you said this is the number that is often associated with excessive and addictive personalities. Yes, 5 is the number of change. You may find that you often change just for the sake of changing. That for me is like yes and no. If you're running away from something, yes, but change is the only constant thing too. So, you know, I know that can be seen as a negative thing, but it's only if you're running away from something, well, then that would be the negative thing. What are you fearful and what are you running away from is what I would be looking at there. As a result of this constant change, your energy could be easily become scattered. So yes, in a way of like if we're running away from everything and, you know, and we start something and we don't finish it and, you know, all this sort of thing. Okay, so, you know, under all that is fear, right? Because I was just going to say then, you don't need to finish everything you start, right? But at the same time, you don't want to have a zillion projects on the go and not finish any of them, because that would be a fear of success or a fear of being seen, a fear of stepping into your purpose, so many things there that could be. The other thing I want to say to that there is that could easily become scattered. So there's a difference between being scattered and being creative. Scattered is that kind of out of body and not grounded, you know, sense. Then that's when your energy gets scattered and you're just kind of not there, right? You're not there. You know, it's like the lights are on but nobody home. Like, yeah, that you're not grounded in your body. And the creative side of that, yeah, numerological perspective, yeah, didn't make sense. Like how come I've never known that? Or, you know, anyway, of course there's numerology connected to the body. So yeah, and so this is leading into what I'm going to say anyway too. So the difference with that, you know, scattered energy and not being grounded in the body. So as I was sharing on a live stream in the Gifted private group before, is that when we are disconnected from our body, so when we live in our heads or our minds and where spirit is, or our soul is not comfortable being in our body because we are freaking out because we've got all this pain and trauma in our body and it's not comfortable to be in there. So while we live in our head, it disconnects us, and so that's when disease happens as well. And that's why disease is hitting in, say, the gallbladder, because it's like, well, are you listening to me? And if you're not listening to me energetically, intuitively, disease hits your physical body, because it's like, are you going to wake up now? I'm speaking to you. Are you listening? Right? That's what physical disease is. It's like it's making us go, hello, are you listening to me? Right? So with that, so the scattered energy is not being grounded. When you are grounded in your body, you can flick that to creative energy, right? So if you think about it, in a sense, we're talking about liver gallbladder for a reason. Who knows? Obviously, people need to listen to that right now. So if you think of the gallbladder and the liver's functions, off the top of my head, I'm not 100% sure on the exact functions of the gallbladder, but the liver is filtering and cleaning. I know the gallbladder's got something to do with... Oh, please, if somebody knows what the physical, you know, like mechanism of the gallbladder's purpose is in the body, because the liver is the size of a football in your body. It's the second biggest organ in your body. Your skin's the first biggest, and your liver is the filter in your body, and the liver, you know, filters all the toxins and all that sort of thing. Yes, I thought it was something to do with fatty acids and that sort of thing. So it's all the fatty acids, and, you know, it's, you know, if you're having too much of the fatties and stuff, the fatties, too much of that, that's when you get gallstones, and that's when, you know, it's overloaded. Basically, your liver gets clogged up, and then that filters onto your gallbladder. Yes, it releases bile, dissolving fats. Okay, yeah. So when that's all clogged up, it all backs up and doesn't function properly, obviously. So the thing that I'm sharing there is that it's all this scattered energy. So if you can imagine, it's a little bit different, but at the same time, okay, no, that's the same time. The message and the analogy I'm getting is, and I've shared this so many times, is that your liver is your filter, and it's just like your car filter. If you never change it, your car's eventually going to go like clog up, and it's not going to run efficiently, and eventually it will stop. Eventually. So with your, if you can imagine your liver in your body, we go along, you know, we've got energy, we're getting all this stuff done, and then, you know, it's kind of, we keep eating, drinking, keep, you know, if we're not looking after ourselves, exercising and all the self-care things and eating healthy, then that's going to keep clogging up. So we're going to slow down just like the car, right? And then if you can imagine it, like the scattered energy, like I said, is that comes in from... you know, like it's clogging up, and it's like, oh, that's a bit painful, so I don't want to be in there, but I'll keep going and doing my thing anyway. And your soul kind of gets out of your body. It's like, oh, it's a bit uncomfortable, so your soul leaves your body, or you're not grounded in your body. You get disconnected from your body. You get scattered because you're not disconnected. You've got all these things happening at once. You're saying yes when you mean no, and all this sort of thing. Then you get resentful and angry, which is the liver clogging up, and then it's like that because you're out of your body and blah, blah, blah. Right? Does that make sense? So when our liver is clean, when our inside body is clean, you feel more comfortable, and obviously working on the emotional side is always number one key. Why are you getting resentful, liver? Because you want to, or angry because you're saying yes when you mean to say no, and that's your boundary. So here, where your liver is, just below your heart, is the solar plexus. Now, my Trust Your Intuition course is all based in the solar plexus, because that is your self-worth, self-esteem. Because if you have low self-esteem and low self-worth, you're going to be feeling... That's when you say yes when you mean to say no, and that's when your boundaries are weak. That's when people take advantage of you, because it's an energetic thing. They sense that your energy, you know, your boundaries are weak, and you easily say yes when you mean no, all that sort of thing, right? There's so many interfolds here. So when we're grounded in our physical body, when we're taking care of our health, our inside, our outside, our physical, emotional well-being, the liver is going to be, you know, when you do liver cleanses and all that sort of thing, then your liver gets cleaner, and you've got more energy, because, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the liver releases some sort of hormones as well, or something to do with that too. And then the gallbladder, so, you know, like, and I'm getting the message, like, it's the same thing as when our car filter is clean, then it's going to be running at its highest efficiency. Same as our liver. When we do regular cleanses, there's so many cleanses out there. You need to find what's right for you. Maybe you need a naturopath or practitioner that would help guide you through a particular, you know, detox, if that's what you're feeling called to do. Then There's, you know, you can get ones that are specifically liver cleanse. There's books on them. You know, there's so many resources. The only, I guess, word of caution I say is if you're going to do a detox, make sure you've done your research, because whatever detox you decide to do, you're going to feel crap for a while. Why? Because your body's like, get a chance to have a break, and then all the, you know, toxins that you've been carrying in your body that is making you tired and, you know, clogged up is get a chance to be flushed out. But you must be doing your detox correctly with whatever system you're following. So please do your research and find what's right for you. So in that sense of when I said your liver's clean, just like your car's clean, your car's going to run at high capacity, it's going to be able to go 100 k's an hour easily, no trouble at all. It's the same with your liver, your filter. When that's clean, you're going to have higher energy because it's going to be functioning correctly. It's not going to be clogged up. You're not going to be angry all the time. You're going to be able to be stronger in yourself, have higher self-worth, and say no when you actually mean no, and go, it's okay, I still love me even if they don't love me, and that's fine, right? It's funny because I'm still getting there. So the scattered, right, so the scattered stuff is because it's all clogged up and we're not in our body. And then when you are grounded in your body, when you're free flowing, your creativity is free flowing too, right? I say this quite a lot, that when I sit down to start doing one thing, I end up having like 100 tabs open on my computer, and I'm doing like 50 things at once, but I wouldn't have been able to do that one thing if I hadn't gone, oh, I need to do that and that, and they seem unrelated, but when I come back to it, I was like, oh, I needed to do that before I could do all those things, right? And that's where the creativity flows. So, you know, someone could walk in and see that and go, oh my God, what are you doing? You need to do one thing at a time. Like, you know, it might seem scattered, but that's a creative flow. And when you're in that flow, you trust that. But when you've got a clean filter, you've got the energy, and the energy is able to flow through you, meaning your soul is grounded in your body. Your soul is the one that's connected to intuition, connected to the universe, connected to source, connected to the thing that feeds us and gives us energy, basically. And when you are connected, then the rest of you can flow, right? So creativity and scatteredness, very similar, and, you know, connected to that. Now I've opened up this book, as you know, it's my favorite book. Oh, it's back to front, I haven't changed it. So The Secret Language of Your Body, I always talk about Inna Segal's book. I was going to look for gallbladder and I got distracted talking, but I've opened up to, lo and behold, low self-esteem. Not by accident, it's just been sitting there, and I was like, okay, that's what we're talking about with the solar plexus and the liver and no boundaries and all that sort of thing. So it says people, okay, well this makes sense to all my other questions I've been asking, why certain people. Okay, so people with low self-esteem often feel like they are missing out in life. Yeah? So if you feel like you're missing out on psychic readings that I've been, you know, giving, and, you know, like I don't get called to you and then you get angry, that's all solar plexus, low self-esteem. You feel like you're missing out in life. Those who feel unworthy and don't value themselves are overlooked for promotions, sporting activities, friendships, and opportunities, right? So I was talking about this in the gifted group. If you didn't, if you weren't in that, you can go and check that out. You just have to add yourself to that. So I'll read the rest of this and I'll explain, otherwise I get sidetracked. So their attitude of victimhood causes them to attract hardships and difficulty into their life. Feeling worthless can create depression, fatigue, self-criticism, and judgment. When a person holds the belief that he or she cannot contribute anything of value. When we carry low self-esteem and unworthiness, the body tends to break down, which can lead to acne, weight problems, diabetes, genital herpes, ovarian cancer, what's that one, scleroderma, ulcers, warts, and memory loss, right? So to heal this, she gives all that there. So you can put your hands on your body where you feel the unworthiness the most. Breathe into the area for a few moments, allowing any emotion to rise to the surface. Relax your hands. And then you can, you know, ask and pray, and you can use that with Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael. Can use, she says, divine healing intelligent. Use the orange red flame of purification to dissolve any thoughts of unworthiness, all that sort of thing, right? You can do self-healing on this, yeah? So the point that I wanted to say there is the fact that, and the reason I was sharing this in the group is because, like, I give free readings, yes, but obviously with all my beautiful soul followers, and I absolutely love and adore you, and thank you for being you and turning up when you do and like you do, and sharing the heart space with the world, because that's my mission. Everybody lives in their heart. Is that when you come from that space that you feel like you're missing out, and then you get angry because, well, they didn't give me a reading and I'm the one who really needs it. Or it could be anything. You didn't win a competition. Well, I'm the one who really needs that $100 or more, right? Because you're in that vibration, that's what you're attracting. And when you can give yourself what you're needing, so it's the recalling your energy, which is pulling your energy back into yourself, and I talk about this all the time. I'm going to post a link to my recalling your energy meditation if you haven't got that already, because it's the first port of call to pull your energy back into yourself so that you can start looking after yourself, start turning inside instead of out there. And when you can bring your energy back into yourself when you pull your energy back into yourself, you're starting to turn your energy back into you. You're able to give this to you, and I teach this in my Calling in Your Soulmate course too. There's no point in looking out there for a relationship when what you're doing is you're trying to fill a hole, even if you think, oh no, I've worked on myself and I've done that, I'm fine, I'm ready to meet somebody, so where are they? Right? It's still coming from that I'm not good enough. I need a relationship to make sure that I'm good enough. I need to feel loved by somebody, right? That's never going to happen until you pull your energy back into yourself. Start giving yourself. Someone just shared it came up at the top of my Facebook feed. It said like someone just shared an article. It was like the 41 ways to love yourself or something. No, but it was like, I don't know, 41 ways that you can, it wasn't give yourself self-love. That weren't the words. It caught me because it was like 41 ways to make love to yourself. That's what it was, or something like that. And I think it was the Elephant Journal, so you can Google that. It was an article. Am I needing that I actually have asking that person for? Alright, is that still live? Okay, cool. I need to be able to give that to myself so that I can, come from a full vibration rather than an empty vibration, yeah? It's the inside out. We want to fill up and feel that, because when we feel loved, when we feel happy, when we feel like we've got our shit together, we've sorted out an area of our life that's been bugging us in our mind, like doing our tax or getting something organized in your house that you've just kept putting off, right? You're starting to shift the vibration that now that's sorted, it's like shifted your energy, and then the universe will bring you more of that, right? So whatever you're wanting, make sure you're giving that to yourself. So the reason, okay, so I'm talking about psychic readings, missing out on psychic reading, missing out on anything. You need to drop back into where as a kid you started feeling like you were missing out. Did you have lots of siblings, or you didn't get enough attention from your mum or your dad, or, just kind of check in back in those threads, because that's where it will stem from. So in Trust Your Intuition, my course, like I said, it's based in the solar plexus. It's based on your solar plexus is your self-esteem, your self-worth, believing in yourself, trusting yourself, and honoring your worth, yeah? It's really empowering you rather than being in that victim space, yeah? Love yourself first, yes. Yeah, it is so true. Obviously need to talk about it. So I'm just going to find the gallbladder. Like I said, I obviously need to speak to that. And it's all connected. Liver, gallbladder. So, and that's the thing. It all intertwines at the same time almost. But it's like, if you're feeling that way, like you're missing out on life, then that's your self-esteem, your self-worth, right? Your low self-esteem, so your solar plexus. That's the chakra we're working with. That's the metaphysics. If you're not paying attention to those feelings, those emotions, which when it starts to come into your awareness is like your gift to go, oh, okay, where in a child part can that, where did I have that in my past where I started feeling that way? Go back to that moment in time, love yourself, grab yourself, bring yourself here and say, I'm loving you, I'm looking after you now, how can we move through this together? Let's work through, or whatever, self-talk. Obviously in my Trust Intuition course, I give you all the meditation tools and everything you need to be able to do that sort of thing if you can't do it by yourself, just in that sort of regard. But the point I'm saying there is self-esteem. So that's the chakra, right? So if you're not paying attention to that, that's when your liver's going to start to get clogged up. That's when your your gallbladder is going to start to get clogged up, and all the other organs, so pancreas, spleen, you're going to start to lose energy. It's going to start, I'm pretty sure spleen and that is like the sweetness of life. So you're going to start losing how good and beautiful everything looks, right? Because it's like, well, everything's leaving me behind, and you know, I'm not good enough to have that, or you know, you don't even think that way, but do you know what I mean? It's that energy, yeah? And that's because your self-esteem's been trying to get your attention, and then it finally hits your physical body, and then you start to feel even worse, right? So every physical organ is speaking to you. It's about listening, and then the more that you hone and exercise your skills and your muscles, that then it is the like the more like what I'm saying, with your psychic awareness, your empath abilities, all of that, the more you fine tune them, then you rarely get sick, because you're catching that energy, you're catching that emotion here in your aura before it has to hit your physical body and say, are you listening to me? Right? And that's the ability, that you have to, or you have a choice if you want to fine tune those spiritual muscles and your psychic awareness and your energy field and all of that stuff, so that I rarely get sick. I rarely get sick. I actually don't really remember the last time I got sick. The last time it was really jumping out at me was 2 or 3 Christmases ago, and I actually got pneumonia. It was from a broken heart. It wasn't from anything else but a broken heart. So, and I talk about in my mini course that will be out by the end of the week, Heal Your Broken Heart. If you've just had a relationship breakup, whether you did the breaking up or you were on the receiving end of the relationship breakup, how to heal your broken heart, because that's the physical manifestation of a broken heart is pneumonia or lung, whatever other lung sickness you can get, coughing, all that sort of thing is just grief in the heart. Pancreas, sweetness of life, diabetes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hi, Lekka. I'm not doing readings. I don't do free readings on my live streams unless it says it on the top of my thing, on my what's it called, right? Okay. So, Avalon, are you here with me? It says Avalon's just come live. Do you want to come live with me, Avalon? I'm sure you could. What's to say? Would love to intuitively see what comes through if you want to come live with me. Okay, so I'm looking for gallbladder while I'm... Okay, so gallstones, right? Ah, interesting. Just talking about grief, funnily enough. Gallstones, so grief that has hardened. How interesting. So with everything that we've been talking about on this live stream, if you've just joined, you might want to rewatch to understand the whole scenario. Grief, gallstones, and getting your gallbladder removed, which is the example we're using today. Grief that has hardened is the first sentence, right, in there. So I'll just turn this camera around so you can see the book title properly. I should probably just put it in the thingamabob. How do I get that back off there? There we go. So the book is The Secret Language of Your Body by Ina Segal. It's an awesome Bible to have in your... I don't know if I'm allowed to call it a Bible. It's my Bible. Okay, so grief that is hardened. So let me explain that if you haven't already got that already. So with that low self-esteem, we're feeling sad because we don't feel good enough. Number one, probably from childhood somewhere along the way, or a relationship breakup that's knocked our self-worth about, right? So we're feeling sad about that we don't feel good enough. Basically, we feel sad that nobody loves us. We feel sad that, we feel sad that nobody loves us, like whatever that is, right? There's grief. We feel sad about a situation, right? So Gallstone says grief that has hardened, feelings of resentment, irritability, and depression. So with that feeling of resentment, like I said, when you've got low self-esteem, you have a tendency to say yes, 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 before you actually tune in and go, oh, is that right for me? So you've got really low boundaries, right? And then so people start going into like, oh, and I'm treading on edgy territory here, people who are in abusive situations have a low self-esteem, right? And we have a hard time saying no. And so with that feeling of resentment, we say yes all the time, and then we get resentful because, oh, why am I doing this? Or, you know, we get lost in ourselves, and it's like, I don't have any time for myself. And well, it's because your boundaries are low and your self-esteem is low, that if you fear that if you don't say yes, then you're going to not be liked by that person. So your fear of rejection and your low self-esteem is running your life, yeah? So you start feeling resentful. So again, that gallstones, grief that is hardened, so you feel sad, but then you feel resentment, irritability, depression, disappointment about your achievement in the world. So like I just said, your self-esteem will get knocked around, right? If you had a relationship breakup or an idea didn't work out or something in your life didn't work out at all, yeah? Disappointment about your achievement in the world, either holding back or exploding with anger. Talked about anger in the liver. Feeling wounded and trying to find someone to blame for your pain, very common. And suffering. Difficulty forgiving. Yes. Why? Because when we've got grief in our heart and we feel sad and angry, we close our heart because we don't want to get hurt again. So of course we're not going to forgive them because they did that to me, right? It's still the victim, pain, suffering, blame game. Yeah. As I always say, when we pointing our finger and blaming somebody else, we've got 3 fingers pointing back at ourselves. Yeah. So I did a live stream not too long ago on spiritual bypassing and narcissism and all of that sort of thing. I'll post the link in YouTube if that calls you to at all, actually, because that's really important. You know, like, yes, all that stuff's real, but it also takes us to stand up and increase our self-worth so that we don't attract those sort of situations anymore, because that's definitely what happens there. Yeah. So with the gallstones, so as you can see there, right, if you were to get your gallbladder removed, right, so, okay, doctor, you know, and you're physically sick and the doctor says, yep, it's your gallbladder, you got gallstones or whatever, you need to get your gallbladder removed. So you might need to go down that process. It might be so bad and that serious that it is life-threatening. You need to do that. And like I said, you need to trust that. So when you get that gallbladder removed, those energy, the emotions of grief, feelings of resentment, irritability, depression, disappointment about your achievement in the world, you know, all that sort of thing, right? That's still going to be in your body. You're not going to still forgive that person just because you got your gallbladder removed. It's like taking a pill to make yourself feel better. It doesn't, it's a band-aid, right? Getting your gallbladder is a band-aid. Yes, you might need to do it, or with whatever other organ, but you need to look on the emotional side of it to start shifting that. If you get diagnosed with something and you have this awareness of all this sort of stuff, you can start working on it immediately. It might take you several weeks to get to the surgery point. By that time, it is possible that whatever it is has shrunk or it's healed. What's coming to mind is The Journey by Brandon Bays. She healed a football-sized tumor in her, I think it was her uterus or something like that. There's another, I'll just type that in the comments there, The Journey. So that's her story about her self-healing herself that way. You know, so you can start self-healing like immediately. You don't need to wait until surgery and then do it. You know, like time is now. So I just wanted to share that today. Even though your organ has been medically removed, the energy of it's still there. So it's not like a quick fix, but you can self-heal and fix yourself, right? So if you've got any questions and you're watching the replay of this, please type them in the comments and I will come back and check them out, because obviously I get notified when people comment in there after I've gone off live stream. And I've got lots of things coming up. So exciting. Can't share my news yet, but I'm busting inside to share. So there's still a bit of preparation going on, but I've got some really amazing things to share very soon. So stay tuned. If you think this will help someone, please tag them in the comments or share it. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel. And yeah, so Jan says, also true, I've had my gallbladder out, but the emotions you mentioned still remain. Yeah, it's very common. It's a very common thing for doctors to go, get your gallbladder out. Can you imagine if, like, you know, in amazing, you know, future world that we're creating, we go, oh, okay, you know, we resource to our books, or we have this knowledge, like, okay, well, liver's anger, this is anger, what am I angry about? Oh, okay, yeah, I need to take better care of myself, and actually maybe I need to remove myself from that situation for a while, and, you know, that sort of thing. Like, imagine when the world's doing that. I'm so excited because that's what I feel like is possible, and is why I do what I do, and I get so excited about it because it's possible. So I will share the link for Trust Your Intuition because the doors are open now. They close on the 29th of November. So when they reopen again sometime next year, the price will be a lot higher. So make sure if it's ever called to you, it's the time to get in now if you're watching. Otherwise, I'm always here for you, and lots of exciting news coming. Can't wait to share. Okay, keep it really real. Lots of love. Namaste.